Dallas, Texas, please make some noise for Josh Johnson!
It is crazy to me that everybody, no matter who you are a different person to everybody that you know. Like, we have the idea in our heads, we understand that we're different to our parents than we are to our friends, than we are to our coworkers. But I mean, like, every single person. Just because of when we meet each other, how we meet each other, what we mean to each other and everything. I have a friend from growing up. His name is Squish. And Squish guy's name, because he's pretty accident prone. In fact, the way I met Squish was he was walking and this kid was in the cafeteria and he stepped on a pickle. And this kid flew. He stepped on the pickle like he stepped on a Hot Wheel. I didn't know pickles had that type of movement. The pickle didn't even disintegrate. He just stayed on it perfectly, like a roller skate, and couldn't stop himself like a Looney Tune. One leg in the air, one leg on the pickle, and couldn't seem to get off. And he was screaming the whole time. Ah! This man was Janelle Monáeing across the floor in a panic. Ah! And this kid slid into some trash cans hard. And so I run up, some other kids run up. And from then on, he was known as Squish. And Squish is... some of his accidents aren't even his fault. Like, we had a classroom fish. It was floating in the tank, swimming around and everything. And, you know, it was a different person's turn to feed the fish every day. And whoever fed the fish last didn't close the slide in the top of the tank back. And so the fish popped out of the tank, landed on the floor, and was bouncing around a little bit. And Squish just happened to be walking by. And we all screamed. We were like, no! And he was like, what? Squish's number one accident that solidified his nickname and his understanding to us as a clumsy person actually happened on a field trip to Dallas. Yeah, so we were all hanging out, getting some food, because the field trip was like all planned out. We had a thick itinerary, and so we got to have lunch at this Italian place, and Squish got some spaghetti to go as well. And of course, throughout the course of us walking around, he trips and falls on his spaghetti. But he doesn't just trip and fall on the spaghetti. He manages. Normally when you fall on to-go plate, it stays where it is. This kid fell and somehow managed to get all of the spaghetti from his stomach to the top of his head covered in marinara sauce. It was like there was more marinara sauce on him than there was in the to-go plate. And unfortunately, it was a field trip to the book depository. So if you were passing by, all you saw was a kid covered in marinara and spaghetti on his head going, help! I remember when Squish got got married, I remember when he had a kid, and I remember when his wife told him, and is wild because when she told, I wish he had been doing a bit or something, just making a cute little joke for the two of them. But she said, we're pregnant. And without missing a beat, he went. Because now Squish has a kid, and this kid calls him Dad. That's wild to me. It's wild that the people that I grew up with are upgrowing people. That feels crazy. That genuinely feels unacceptable. That the people that I grew up with are making new people that don't know what they're like. Because I know these people. This kid calls Squish Dad. I'm like, oh, you don't, that's not Dad, that's Squish. No, you weren't around, but. No. And I'm thinking about it so much because I am older now than my parents were when they had me. And it sort of recontextualized every memory. Because every year that I get older and I'm just going about my life, I think about how they were the age that I am now, but with me. I'll have a bad day and think, oh, this is the worst, and not thinking about how they used to hang out with me, but not when I was like fun. They had to hang out with a version of me that couldn't read. So you're already having a bad day, and now somebody that can't read is making it worse. You picking them up from school, they sitting in the back all, and now you have to try to figure out what's wrong with somebody who can't read. Because they won't tell you, one, because they're a kid and they're being all secretive and everything, but also because they can't read, so they don't even know the words to describe what they're feeling. You gotta do charades to see what's wrong. That's tough. You know, like I think back how my mom, a lot of the moms of the kids that I went to school with, like when you're a parent, I can't imagine being a parent. I cannot imagine being a parent right now, being a kid right now. I feel like I barely did all right with what I had, you know what I mean? When I was growing up, because I have a lot of empathy for the people who are trying to like raise a good person, doing your best to just make a good person. And the way I look at it, the way I look at life lessons is a lot like lunch. Because, you know, as the parent, the person who has knowledge, the person who's trying to do what's best for your kid, you can make them the best lunch possible. And when I say the best lunch possible, I mean like actually everything that they need. There's vegetables, there's fruits, there's some protein in there. You go ahead, you got the fiber. Everybody forgets the fiber. You got to get your fiber. You don't want to be full of protein and no fiber. You just be sitting there stuck. You did everything. You got vitamins and minerals in there. You got things to keep them hydrated, give them energy, make sure the bones grow, make sure the brain's healthy. You did everything. And then you send them to school with that lunch. But then it's up to them. Once they're not around you, you don't know. You have no idea. You know, maybe they're going ahead and they're taking out like the one sweet thing in that lunch, and then they just dump out the rest. I went to school with a girl just like that. She loved lunch. Lunch was her favorite because she was a wheeler dealer. She was a broker at lunch. I've never seen anybody finesse like this before. She would start lunch with one snack pack. She would end it with 16 cookies. And we would all have been had and we didn't understand how. We all just sit here, no treats, because she had mixed us up so much. She was the only person I've ever seen in my entire life during lunch going ahead and selling cookie futures. She was over here like, you know I'm good for a snack pack every day, all right? So you give me the cookie now, I'll give you a snack pack tomorrow. Now, that snack pack, you're gonna keep it for a little bit, but you know he's gonna have M&Ms on Thursday. And she did this every day. Every day she finessed the entire class out of everything. And her parents made her a good lunch, but just, we're not really trying to hit that celery right now. Not when we got delicious brownies homemade. And after a while, it took some time, but after a while she showed up to school and she had this rash and she was always tired and stuff. And we found out later that her parents had to take her to, the doctor, and she had scurvy. In the modern age, it is damn near impossible to get scurvy because every day, even by accident, you slipping into vitamin C. You know how many treats you gotta be eating with nothing good to hit the scurvy? This little girl had scurvy, like a Caribbean pirate. Because her parents were doing their best for lunch. They prepared her as best as possible. They gave her everything good. But then, when you're around your friends, when you're alone, a parent can't know what's going to happen after that. Like, there's a show on Netflix called Adolescence. And I watched it. And I think it is a very well-made show. Out of all the critiques I've heard about the show, and there are plenty, I have not heard anyone say that the acting isn't phenomenal or that the camera work isn't incredibly interesting, But it's a tough watch, and it's heavy, and it brings up a lot of things I think are important to talk about because it's sparked all these conversations online. It's the most watched English-speaking show in Netflix's history, and there are people being like, oh, finally we're discussing the way that misogyny has creeped in online into every facet of society. And then there are other people being like, no, it's a moral panic. Like, these things are bad, but we're blowing it out of proportion. And so that discussion I do feel like is important. And only one person, this was one woman I was talking to that was like, it's my favorite show of all time. And I was like, ugh. Favorite all time ever? Did you watch the whole thing and that's your favorite thing you've ever watched? I'm not judging, I'm just saying that's a lot like being like, my favorite place to go is the dentist. It's like, all right, I mean, it's good that you went, but just you telling me that makes you feel good? You love that? You love somebody just playing in your mouth like that? Quizzing you while flossing you? That's your favorite thing? It's just as odd to me. Teach their own. But I do think it's really important that we have these conversations, and it started making me think about my own life. When I was little, I didn't even know what it would mean to have a girlfriend, really. And I only think I thought about girlfriends because adults would like pitch me on the cheek and be like, oh, you're so cute, you must have a little girlfriend. You got a little girlfriend? Be like, nah. You're not around the rest of the time. I'm actually quite a lot. But there was someone who I used to eat lunch with for a little while there. And sometimes we'd eat lunch for the whole period of lunch, and sometimes she would just come over, to make sure we chatted before lunch was over. And we would always split my cookie, right? I'd break my cookie in half and we would chat. And I knew that I got to do every day at school my two favorite things, which was talk to her and eat cookies. And so she'd come over, we break bread, cookie bread, we break bread and everything. We talk about all sorts of stuff. And I didn't know what it would be like to have a girlfriend, but I knew if I was gonna have a girlfriend, it would be her, right? This is who I like talking to. It's who I like spending time with. It's the only person I'll share my cookie with. And one day, I was walking to the monkey bars, get some swings in. It was good to get the shoulders working. And when I got up to those monkey bars, I wasn't right up on them. I was still at a distance, but I saw her kissing a boy. And I was distraught. I saw them kiss it. I was like, no! I didn't even think of kissing! Is that what boyfriends and girlfriends do? Hey, we little, so they not even really kissing. They more just butting heads and everything. But even so, I was torn up. I was like, no! We share cookies every day. She get my cookie crumbs all on his lips. And I didn't go up to the monkey bars. I went to the little castle that we had on the playground, and man, I cried. I was torn up, and I didn't know what to do in that moment. I didn't know how to fix the way I was feeling, and it felt like I had done something wrong, even though it was just life happening. This person was still someone who I liked very much, but I was like, no, what to kiss? Did the cookie mean nothing? I was so torn up. When we went back to class, I couldn't even learn. Teacher sitting there with a word problem. Simple word problem, trying to get me to hit that 3 + 4, and I was like, 3 kisses plus 4 kisses is one broken man. And I think it's the discussions that are arising because of the show, I think are important because whether it feels like it or not, we are all each other's responsibility. And I think that there's something happening, and it's happening to young men, it's happening to boys, where these things online, whether it's, whatever, red pill, manosphere, whatever you want to blame, there's a certain rhetoric that at least fills in some blanks and tells you this is the way that the world is, this is how you fit into the world. And it's an assuredness that the people around you don't seem to have. Because when that happened, when that kiss happened, when you're a kid, you see things in black and white. You haven't lived long enough to find nuance in between every experience. And so I didn't see that as like, oh, this is my friend, but she happens to like this person or also like this person or like this person more. I internalized all of it. I was like, no, she likes him because I'm ugly. That's gotta be what it is, right? Or she hates me and she likes him. Everything has to be very distinct. And that's tough. I think it's something that we would hopefully be better at recognizing, because it's the same thing that happens to young women. Like when I was a kid, especially when I got to be a teenager and stuff, I was angry. I had all the regular problems. It wasn't like anything extra was happening. But one time an adult sat me down that I was talking to for a long time, and they said something that stuck with me ever since, because I was just telling them how I felt about everything, about how I felt about myself and the world and the people around me, and it all stemmed into this one question. They were like, who taught you to hate yourself? And I couldn't answer it. Because the truth is that I don't know if it's that explicit, and I don't think that it needs to be. When you're young and you're just trying to make your way through the world, I think it's a balance that gets created with the people around you and with yourself, and it's easy to tip, you know? I don't know if anyone was running up to young women specifically making sure that they felt like they were ugly. They just told them that everything that wasn't them around them was beautiful. And so then you have something very similar happening to young boys right now that's coming from all these different directions. And I don't think it should ever be a contest. I know one thing impacts another thing, and there are people that when someone is hurt, they become hurt too as a result. But I think that it's not really about who has it worse when we all have it bad. Sometimes when somebody's going through something and they're open about it, if it's not the person that we decided to band around, right? If it's like a unique person going through something and they're sharing it, sometimes the response, instead of being empathy, is almost backlash, right? They're going through something and they're being open about it, and people are responding with like, oh, boo-hoo, you'll be fine, it's all good, right? But this person is coming to you earnestly, and they're going through something, you know? Like, we don't really, if I'm being honest, we don't really talk about the like body dysmorphia that a lot of men have. There are men packed into gyms trying to look like the action figure. Meanwhile, the action figure doesn't look like a person. Like, that's not, like, your knees aren't supposed to be as big as your head. You're just never gonna get there. That's not how people are built. No one does that. No. And even more than like body dysmorphia in men, the thing that I don't think I hear anybody talking about is strength dysmorphia. I know a lot of men, good men, who have looked at a box or a pool table or a TV and thought to themselves, I can pick it up. We are losing more backs in this country to men's strength dysmorphia than anything else. Strength dysmorphia is the #1 cause of hernias in men. Because then you'll try to help. You'll try to be that person, to be there for them. Be like, hey, wait until we can get some help. Don't do it by yourself. And they'll be like, you don't think I can pick it up? And you're like, it's not about me. Your knees don't think you can pick it up. Your legs don't think you can pick it up. Your back doesn't think you can pick it up. Your glutes don't think you can pick it up. One time I was on a road trip with some friends, and we heard it when the tire popped. We heard it immediately. So we pull over, right? And our friend who was driving, it's his car. He had everything ready to go. Had the spare tire, everything to change the tire, except he forgot the jack. So then our friend Jack says to us with a straight face, all right, everybody just, y'all get in position and everything, get ready to change this stuff, and I'll just pick it up and y'all change it, I'll put it back down. I had questions. I was like, pick up what, change what? He was like, no, look, y'all pick it up and, you know, start changing, I'll put it back down. It may take us a couple tries, but we'll get there. There are two types of people who can pick up a car. One are strong men. And by strong men, I don't just mean men that are strong. I mean actual competitors, like strong men. All they do is train and work out and lift heavy things. They almost look like the action figure, but they're not quite there because your knees are only going to get so big, right? But they got very big shoulders, big head, everything, big arms, and they pick up boulders and they put them on top of stuff. And then sometimes they pull trucks. They have the chain and they pull it. And you can see that tire moving a little bit. You're like, he is moving it. Wow. You can watch it on ESPN too. That type of man. That man right there, he'll never turn around fast, but he can pick up a car. You touch him on the shoulder, it's going to be a while before he gets to you. But he could pick up a car, okay? He will never kill a fly. He's not going to be that quick with it. But if you need a donkey murdered by punching it in the face, he can get that. It's dead. That's one of the type of people that can pick up a car. The second type of person that can pick up a car is a mother whose baby is under the car. And even then, even in that scenario, she can pick up the car because the part of her brain, out of concern for her child, that would normally say, girl, think about your joints, has shut off. It's not like she picks up the car, gets the baby out of the way, and is fine afterward. Her ligaments are shot. But she can do it. So unless, bro, you've been doing some exercises that we haven't seen, or there's a child under the tire that you care about very much, I don't think this is gonna work. And he's like, you don't think I can do it? I was like, it's not about me. Your legs don't think you can do it. Your back doesn't think you can do it. Your glutes don't think you can do it. But he wanted to try. And so everybody got out of the car. Everybody got in a position. You know, one friend was there with the spare tire. Other friend was there getting ready to start unscrewing everything. I didn't have a job, so I just stood there, you know, as a witness to record, you know. And we know that there is a way to work out. We know if you want to lift, there's a way to do it correctly. You're trying to deadlift, try to squat, you get your legs shoulder width apart. You go ahead and make sure your knees stay in line with your feet so you're not buckling one way or the other. You go ahead and put your butt out when you're trying to pick it up. You keep your back neutral, keep your core engaged and everything. You lift it up, make sure your neck is neutral and stuff. We know all of these things. This man got in the weirdest position I've ever seen in my entire life. This man got, okay, so he got under the bumper like, okay. Y'all get it? We were like, no, it didn't move, because it's a car. How long did you think you were lifting it? What world are you in? And he's like, oh, you know what? That's my bad. That's my bad. No, I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong. I'm going to turn around. Turn around. You know that lift that's famous for being much easier, where they go to the Olympics and they put the bar behind them to pick it up. You know that thing that we've all seen before? This fool turned around, put his back to the car, like, okay. had the nerve to be like, y'all ready? Y'all must have got it that time, right? And we're like, no, it didn't move because it's a car. You can feel yourself not moving it, right? And I knew he was hurt this time because he just wanted to walk off. but he was still in position. He was like, I'm done messing with y'all. Y'all not even serious. I can't believe it. Over here doing my job for me. That's right. Don't apologize. Let them think I earned those extra laughs. No, but the truth of the matter is that you have the same thing happening, you know? We kind of, I'm not saying we figured it out, but we kind of addressed it with the Barbie in theory. And there's something that's like laid out all across the internet. And it's made me think about the question that I was asked. Who taught you to hate yourself? And I finally answered it in my own head. It's probably, whoever taught you to hate yourself is probably selling you something. That's all it is. We recognize it. We've learned to see it with women when it comes to makeup, when it comes to a certain fit, all that stuff. But with men, you don't see it called out in that same way. Because trust me, all these dudes, all these manosphere bros, all these red pill dudes, every single one of these guys is also selling a course. Oh, that's curious. I thought we were brothers and you wanted to help me get girls. Why are you selling me? Okay. And some of it, we have to remember, because all of these people, no matter who you're talking about, young boys, young girls, all these people are very young, they're very impressionable, and they're trying to get a sense of the world. And you can fill the lunchbox as best as possible. But one thing that's assured is that all of your best qualities will not just be passed down. I wish it was true. And you can fill that lunchbox with as many good things as possible. But it then is up to them, when they're with their friends, when they're by themselves, to actually look at what's been given to them. And not just trade it for a bunch of junk. Because now you have parents who feel like out of nowhere they're meeting a new person, a person that they didn't raise. They hear these things being said that they never taught their kid. And they're like, where did this come from? And some of it, not all of it, but a good portion of it can be blamed on being online. I think it's a mistake to just say that it's online throughout. Just go ahead and throw away the phone. Don't let the kid get on the computer or anything, because the people posting these things are real people out in the world. So those ideas are running rampant in the world anyway. But I do think that it's in how algorithms are built. You know? You show genuine curiosity for one thing. And all they're trying to do as a company is hold your attention, keep you on the platform. So they see you choose one thing, so they send you more of that thing. And so it sends you down a rabbit hole. We always blame ourselves for falling down a rabbit hole, but it is what's served to us after we just watch one thing. You know, you watch one alpaca kick somebody in the chest. And then socials are sure, they're like, this must be his favorite thing. Let's go ahead and keep running them. You know? And I'm blessed that I'm blessed that I am who I am. I was born when I was born. I have my own problems, my own worries and everything. The hardest life you're ever gonna have to live is your own, which is why I do my best not to judge anybody. Because I think genuinely that if I had been born as them in a different time, I'd probably be just like them. You know? And so I truly, truly believe that one of the it's so funny when somebody tries to start a clap, but y'all aren't like feeling it. It's like I don't say anything for claps, but every once in a while somebody feels moved to clap, but then they realize it's not like an everybody clap. Like, No. I didn't want but I didn't. You know, let me earn it. But the truth is that like when it's that easy, I think we have to look at these problems as interlinked. You know. Because people talk about incels, they talk about people who've taken the black pill, all that stuff like that. And you gotta recognize truly that these like incels, whatever people end up calling them, they don't really hate women, they hate themselves. That's where all that comes from. And I can only imagine if I was a kid now and I came home and I got online and I typed in to Google or any platform, especially social, why would she eat my cookie but then kiss somebody else? I'm in for a world of trouble. I'm immediately, with one prompt, getting into some really bad stuff. Because I bet you, because the people online are not necessarily talking to anyone. They're speaking to their own experiences and broadcasting them, projecting them on other people in every situation. And so if I type that in, I'm not getting back the answer I would get from an adult that's like, hey, look, these things happen. Maybe this person knew that you liked them. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe the same thing would have happened either way. I know that's hard to hear, but there are so many people in the world. There's billions of people in the world. There are more people in the world than you can count right now because you're not great at math. That's what, to me, I'm not acting like I'm an expert. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a sociologist. I haven't met every person. I don't know what everyone is going through. But to me, that's the key. That's what solves it. When people are like, what do we do? What do we do? You just stay in each other's lives as much as possible. You know? All of this missing stuff gets filled in by the internet because we aren't there to do it. And I don't just mean parents. I mean like real community. I mean everyone that you know. Do you tell the people in your life that you know that you love them all the time? Do you never let a day go by without the people in your life knowing and feeling like they're loved by you? It just takes you. It only takes you. And so when you have something like that happen, you type it, you come home, you're crying, you're like, why was she with the cookie and the kisses? I'm not likely to get someone who's gonna give me a solid answer, an answer I can take to the rest of my life. You know? I'm probably gonna get somebody coming on, big old shoulders, being like, that's right, that's what women do, they take cookies. And best believe, brother, she's coming for your cookie tomorrow. And next time she won't want half, she's gonna want the whole thing. That's why you gotta shut these women down before they get your cookie. If it even gets that specific. I remember I was in college. College was the first time that, like a lot of people, that I was out of the house, and I was really out there by myself. I had to make all new friends. It was good for me though. I had to just get acquainted with a new environment, and I had never been somewhere where it was all up to me. Go to bed whenever you want, do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, right? As long as you're getting good grades, nobody really cares. As long as you're not causing a bunch of havoc, no one's going to say anything. And I made a friend when I was in college, and we had a conversation one night that was genuinely transformative, because when someone opens up, and I'm not trying to be particular here, but it's true. When someone opens up, especially a man that's never opened up before, what happens next in that moment is crucial. It's incredibly important. Mishandling that moment almost guarantees that not only will the wall go back up, it's going to have another layer of bricks. It's going to be even harder to break down. And we just got to talking. I don't even know who shared first, but he told me things. He told me about his anxiety, depression, his feeling, his lack of purpose, all the things that he thought that he was missing in the world, and everything that he thought he was not worth, and things he thought he would never get. And it was all just like coming out so earnestly. And so then I did the same. I told him things. I told him about my anxiety, my depression. I told him about everything that I was going through, how I felt about myself, how I felt about the world, the people around me. Like nothing would really matter if I was here or not, right? And we shared for a while. And then when it was over, we realized like we were the only people we had told these things to. Everything else we expected to just take to the grave, and we had just told it to each other because there was someone there to listen. And I know sometimes it can happen where like a man opens up to you and you don't know what to do. And so I'll give you one tip. If you really don't know what to say, if things are coming at you and they're things you would have never imagined coming out of this man's mouth, just hit him with a word. It won't fix everything, but it's a good placeholder. Because as men, sometimes word is all we really need. We're like, yep, you get it. See, you get it. But truly, we shared a lot, and in that moment, we didn't know what to do, so we just hugged it out. And don't get me wrong, it was a manly hug. You know, we tightened our arms around each other and we hit the pats. That's how you hug as a man. You go ahead with the. Watch the end of Top Gun Maverick. Both those men ready to cry, and they still just. I don't know what to do, so I gotta hit it. And it was a long hug because, once again, these are things we thought we would never be able to tell anybody else, and we're holding on to each other tight, and we're patting each other back hard. And I'm not proud of it. But eventually, I did burp. And what happens in the moment that a man opens up to you and you open up to another man is crucial. When I burped, I was like, no. I'm never opening up again, okay? What I look like? I just poured my soul out and I got burped by my boy? Never. No, we not on that. But I genuinely believe from the bottom of my heart, for every person, no matter how you feel, and some of that feeling is going to be advertisements shooting at you. Oh, you'll just be whole when you have this, when you get this. Someone trying to sell you something, trying to make you feel less so then you can be at least level after they give you their thing. But truly, I hope everyone can really hear this and understand this. If you are in the world, I remember when when it was told to me for the first time, it also stuck with me. If you're part of the world, you must be worth the world. And I hope that everybody can feel that way, that you're really worth the world, because you're here. You know? And I think about it because there's a whole new generation of people coming up. They're dealing with something we've never had to deal with before. Like I think of Squish's kid. I was very nervous when Squish became a father because he has dropped everything I've ever seen him hold. He's one of the clumsiest mans. It's insane. But he is kind, and he is generous, and he has a good heart. And it'll be a better world if Squish's kid is like him. I hope that that's possible. I hope he can turn out just like his dad. It'll be a better world. It'll be a more haphazard world. Like it'll be a different type of dangerous, but...
Please make it loud for Josh Johnson!
When I was growing up, you know, I would hear these stories of people who were like really in the life, you know, like they were doing bad things. They were like, this is bad. Probably gonna go to jail. And I heard this story one time. This dude, everybody got locked up, but there was this trap house. In case you're not aware, a trap house is where illicit materials are sold. I just, you know, sometimes you might say trap house, or there might be someone who's like, so booby traps? Like, is it the trap door situation? Like when you walk in, watch out for the wire, you're gonna fall down to the basement? No, I mean drugs. I mean the buying and selling of drugs. And so this trap house was known for being pretty busy. It had become so busy that they had bought some property, you know, several blocks away and opened up another trap house. Business was booming. Things are going very well. Whenever you are selling so many drugs that you have to buy property, we are entering documentary territory. Most trap houses are really just dudes playing video games until somebody knocks on the door. Like, it's not a busy day. And you gotta stay at trap house the whole time because you don't know when someone might get the itch. And so they opened up another trap house, but this location was not as poppin' for some reason. They must have opened it in a bad neighborhood. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being all drugs, be like, I'm not going over there though, that's dangerous. And so even though they opened another location, and even though they tried to tell people, hey, you can come here or you can go over there, people liked the original trap house. It stayed just as busy as ever, with some business going on at the second location, but mostly it was here, right? And okay. Let's just call him Jerry, all right? And Jerry ran both trap houses. And he did a pretty decent job, you know? Kept his books, kept his finances, really, like, he knew his inventory, you know what I mean? He could have made a great store manager at any grocery store. There was this dude named Twan, and Twan found out about these very popular trap houses. Well, one popular, one not so popular, right? And he made a plan. to rob the trap house, the main one, the lucrative one, right? So his plan for robbing the lucrative trap house was to basically set up a diversion at the one that wasn't as busy. So he basically faked a robbery at the one that was not as busy. He had some guys go over there, bang on the door, act like they had guns. They were about to break in because he knew it would make everyone call Jerry. Jerry and his boys would go over there. By the time they get there, those guys have already left. And then the main trap house is left defenseless. They break in. Tuan and them break in. They steal all this money out of the trap house, right? Take it back to their place. Now, their place is a stash house. Stash house should be self-explanatory. If I've lost you at stash house, I cannot help you. But the trap house has been robbed. Everything's been taken back to the stash house, okay? And then Tuan and his boys thought they had made a killing. They were like, this is great. No one even knows that it was us because they had planned it very well. They planned it all the way down to the detail of if those guys who did the fake robbery got caught, they wouldn't even know who hired them, right? But Jerry's no fool. Jerry started asking around, and he could kind of tell that some of these guys were lying, some of these guys weren't lying. He traced everything back to Tuan. And so he set up a plan to rob Tuan's stash house. To go in there and not just get his stuff back, but take the rest of whatever was in there. And his plan wasn't as meticulous. He just sort of ran up in there with a lot of men and guns. Now, what he did do is he waited. He learned the routine. He learned who would be there when. It took months. And then finally, he was like, we're going to do it on Tuesday. They never paying attention on Tuesday. We're going to run up in there. It's only going to be like 5 of them. If it's 15 of us, I don't think we'll meet a lot of resistance. It's not like it's their money. It's Tuan's money. And so that's what they did. They broke up in there, went ahead, zip-tied everybody, and took everything, which took several trips. The people at the stash house did have to watch themselves be robbed for quite a while. Imagine you over here, you're not gonna get away with this. Then you think they've left, they come back in the door. Left all this right here. And so then one of them, being new to the lifestyle, being a new, some would say prospect gang member, was so appalled at the theft that when he freed himself, lacking all presence of mind, called the police. This man called the police. It was like they ran up in there, they had guns and everything. They had a gun in my hands. He's telling all this to 911. They took everything. They took the weeds. They took all the money. Took my favorite Glock. And, some people were duct taped and everything, duct taped over the mouth, zip tied behind everything. So when, as soon as he called 911, he started freeing everybody else. As soon as he ripped that tape off, they're like, "What is wrong with you? We gotta get out of here now." And so then they all left. They all ran up out of there because the police, catching wind that there was a robbery of the stash house, made themselves available immediately. No, they got out in time not to get caught. They got out in time to see the police raiding the stash house from a few doors down. And that's the thing, is like people say, you know, crime doesn't pay, or like criminals are dumb or whatever. But there are some very smart people who, for whatever reason, enter a certain lifestyle, choose to stay there, or maybe it's all that they know. And if criminals were so dumb, they wouldn't be fascinated. We are fascinated by career criminals. We're fascinated by people who do things that aren't just illegal. They have the gall to try to pull something off that has so many different entry points to danger. Like, just in the past few days, the Louvre was robbed. And I have not been able to settle. This is amazing. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the Louvre or the Louvre or whatever, it's one of the most visited museums in the world, and people go there and then they act like they've been changed by art. And you ask them what they saw, they can't name anything or anybody. They were just like, no, the Mona Lisa was there, looking unimpressed. Well, there were these robbers that broke in. And they broke in dressed as construction workers, right? They had actually rented this like powerlifting vehicle that had a ladder that would bring them up to the next level where they could cut in, because they brought tools to cut in through the window and enter that way. They didn't want to just come through the front. And it made sense that they were dressed as construction workers, as the Louvre is under construction. Permanently, I guess. It's always under. Why is Europe never finished? Europe always, all of Europe, always, unless you're out in the country, there's always like, oh, we gonna fix this road. We've been working on it since 1822. But that's y'all's fault. Y'all keep changing the roads. We just, right when we finished the cobblestone, y'all were like, no, it's asphalt now. And so look, they break in, and they break in with these power tools. They had like an angle grinder and everything. And that's when the alarms were going off and stuff. And then they get in through this museum window, and the part of the museum that they're in is where these rare crown jewels are being held, right? They didn't bother with the Mona Lisa. There was a crowd, there's a line. You'd never make it out. People be like, no, I want to see. And people keep, they keep criticizing the security. They keep criticizing the people that were doing security, but those people did approach them. They were like, hey, you don't. you better not. Because what is museum security really supposed to do? Let's be honest. Let's be real. If you work security in any format, they should arm you with as much as it takes to protect what's supposedly valuable. Think about this. When you see someone working for like Brinks, right? And they bring a Brinks truck to do a deposit for a bank. Let's say a whole grocery store is like, hey, we got like $250,000 that we need to transport over to the bank to make our deposit. The bank is like, don't worry, we'll send somebody. They hire Brinks. Brinks comes over. They have a truck. And not just a truck, like a bulletproof truck. And then they get two people. They get two people to make sure nobody knocks you over the head when you're trying to grab the bags and put them in the truck. They get two people, and not just two people, two of the biggest people you've ever seen. Like two people that are so big that it's like, you are the gun, right? And then I think they give them a gun. They always hold in their pocket. Maybe they don't have a gun, but it looks like they have a gun. And they don't give them cuffs because they don't plan on taking any prisoners. And then they get in there, Brinks always handles a drop like they are being robbed. Like they always handle the drop the way a bank robber would handle the drop. Because I used to work at a grocery store, and Brinks would come in and they'd be like, so where is your safe, or where do you... Hurry. And we'd be like, oh, it's over here. Okay, it's over here, all right. And then the one would get to work putting... And the other one just watching them, watching us. I'm ringing people up. I'm putting more money in the till. And they were still like, but you might try anything. I don't know you. And then they would leave, and they'd leave all fast. And then they'd run into the truck, throw everything in the truck. And then they would always peel out a little bit, which made me uncomfortable. One time they came and did a pickup, and I was like, y'all sure that was Brinks? Because they were a little squirrely. But then for some reason, there are times where you're supposed to protect, or you're supposed to hold guard of something, and you're giving less and less resources as you do it. Like, you look at a Brinks security guard, and then you look at like a mall cop. They're like, you get one flashlight. I guess shine it in their eyes or something. If you hit somebody hard enough in the head with it, the glass will break. That's something. But nobody gets done dirtier. Nobody gets done dirtier than museum security. Museum security, not only do they give you nothing, no flashlight, they don't even give you a stapler to hit somebody with. They give you nothing. All they give you is a dress code. They're like, hey, just show up in all black, nobody will mess with you. You show up in a black shirt with a black suit jacket and some black pants and black shoes, people think you John Wick. They won't even approach any of the art. Because truly, what is a museum security guard supposed to do? I go to a lot of museums. I try to go to a museum in every city that I do a show, if I can, right? And I've been in these museums, beautiful art. And then you see, you get a little too close, and you see this thing go off, this like little, you don't even know where the alarm is, but like it'll just, that's the too close alarm. Because it's not like a real alarm, it's just annoying, and it's annoying, and it goes off until you back up. So if you're a pointer, I go to a lot of museums with pointers. Everyone I take to a museum love to point. It's like we all three again, and they're like, I like the flap. As soon as you hear, somebody works for a museum, comes over, black everything, with an attitude. Could you not? Ma'am, back up. They love that hair. Back up. Give it a little space. Let the art breathe. And you want to know who a museum security guard's arch nemesis is? Because it's not like a grown man. It's not a grown woman. It is any child. Any child will ruin their day. Because I don't know what it is about the frequency of the alarm, but if you're 4, you can't hear it. If you're 4, you're like, I was at this museum one time. This security guard was in a true predicament because this child was out here touching everything. He was touching it to the point that it sounded like their alarm was going off to the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb. And finally, the security guard started like chasing his child around, and not like really chasing him, not like Dennis the Menace chasing him, but just like following them around, hoping to maybe this kid's gonna go back up to their parents or something and be like, can you please hold your child's hand or something, because they've been touching everything. Got applesauce on everything. Because as a security guard, what are you gonna do? You can't grab this kid. You can't actually grab this. I know that sounds crazy to anybody who was born in any era before now. You have to kind of let this kid put applesauce on all the art, because if you touch this kid, you've committed murder. So So if you snatch this kid and even hold their hand so you can find their parent, you are basically killing them. So you have to like let them kind of do it, but then follow them around, but then not touch them, but then make sure they don't touch anything. It would look terrible. And so finally, this security guard just started running interference on every item. This child was walking up, getting ready to touch a sculpture. Security guard get in there. No. Just trying to box him out of every room. And then finally, this kid, realized what was going on. It felt like it was a game. So this kid is like, oh, you want to play? I love to play. Playing's my favorite thing. Playing's basically my job. And so he running interference. There's a painting. And finally, this kid gets boxed in. And even the security guard's like, I don't know what to do now. Because like, this would be when you would like snatch their hand and be like, hey, is your child not with you in the museum? I might have them. But he was like, doesn't want to touch this kid, but doesn't want the kid to touch anything else, but then is in the corner, but then is also a grown man cornering a child in a corner. Just because you're at work doesn't make it look better. All this kid has to yell is stop, and you going straight to jail. I'm your only witness, and I'm not really here right now. And so this kid boxed into the corner, and you can see the kids having fun. Kids over here. Nowhere to go but under. This kid slipped under his legs and ran away. This man turned around. Started chasing after this kid even more, and then the kid went to the only room he hadn't got applesauce on. And was next to this painting. I don't really remember who painted this, but it was a huge, huge painting of a ship in a storm. And it was one of those that was like, it was a marvel because of its scale. So it's not like one that you just hang up and 6x8, whatever. This thing was huge. It took up almost the entire wall, which meant he could definitely reach it. This kid walked up to the painting, and now the whole thing is a game. Touching the stuff's a game, trying not to get caught is a game. This kid's having fun. He thought museums were boring. He's having the time of his life. This kid standing next to the painting. And admittedly, I was also running after them so I could keep watching. I didn't try to help at all, but I was like, I gotta see the rest of this. Like, what you gonna do? This man gonna run out of breath soon. Security guard gets in the room, huffing and puffing. And he just goes, even the kid for a second was like, ooh, are you? I might have killed a grandpa. I don't even... And then this kid goes in his pocket and lifts an applesauce covered finger. And I was like, it's been in his pocket the whole time. Children are disgusting. This kid been running around with a pocket full of applesauce this entire museum trip. And then Unc running security goes, don't. This kid, no words, no emotion in his eyes. You can tell he gonna grow up to be a bad person. This kid, applesauce covered finger just went, and so if a security guard is defenseless against a child, what do you expect them to do against actual robbers with angle rods that they just used to break into the second floor window. Because the security ran up on them. No, hey, get out of here. None of that. And then they went. Security was like, you know what? Let us help you. Everybody out. Everybody out. Everybody get out now. Security made everybody get out but them. Don't you see these men working? Get out. They over here on time crunch. And you over here, ooh, look at the jewels. Get out. In fact, there was a news report that cracked me up. I laughed so hard because the security report, there was this person who, I don't think they were like head of security for the Louvre or anything, but they were basically like, it is museum security's #1 job to make sure the people are safe, and that's what they did. They made sure the people were safe. I was like, you are changing the narrative right now, because anytime I got too close to a painting and I heard the and then I had somebody come over, it didn't seem like it was for my protection. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were running up, hey, that one, that painting, that wakes up. Don't get close. Please. And so then, robbers start grabbing everything, grabbing these like Napoleon era empire crown jewels, right? They grabbed so much, they grabbed too much. They actually grabbed so much they dropped one. They dropped one of the crowns outside. And this is gonna sound dumb. This will sound dumb, so bear with me, because I know it's gonna sound dumb, but I don't think it's dumb, all right? I thought, truly, even when I went to museums, for as many museums as I go to, I've been to museums in Europe, I go to museums here, I go to every museum that I can. I thought for certain that when you see something in a museum, that under certain circumstances is a replica. I can tell by your reaction that some of y'all think I'm dumb and some of y'all think what I thought. I'm telling you right now, when I would go to the museum, I would admire the brush strokes, I'd admire everything, but I would be like, this is the fake one though. Like this has to be the fake one. And I thought that because if you remember, right before 2020 and even after the pandemic, you would have activists that would go to museums. These, climate activists would go to museums and they just throw like tomato soup on supposedly priceless paintings, right? They would go up to like a Van Gogh and be like, blah, and then they glue themselves to the wall or something, and then they would be like, this is why we did this, and you will have to listen to me for as long as it takes to unsuperglue my hand from the wall. Because people who are climate activists feel like no one is listening to the point where the only thing that will get any attention or like stop people for a second to listen to them is just extreme acts that knock you out of whack. You know what I mean? Just things that you go, what? What? They did what? Why did they do that? And then they get to explain. It's like the better version of canvassing, because they tried to canvass. They really did. Everyone that cares about the climate tried to canvass, and what did you do? You walk by them. They were like, do you have a minute for the planet? And you're like, I'm headed to work, please. I was with a friend one time, and look, I've stopped plenty of times. I can't stop every time. And so they were like, do you have a minute for the planet? And then my buddy was like, nah, we're good, and kept walking, have a good day. And this dude got really bad. This dude canvassed and was like, you on the planet? You don't have a minute for the planet you on? But that was happening a decent amount. There were these supposedly priceless paintings. They were getting vandalized, people throwing Campbell's soup on them and everything. So then I was like, surely a museum would not allow Campbell's soup to get thrown on the real one, like the regular one, because the museum was always super chill about it. The museum, they would like throw tomato soup on a Van Gogh and the museum would be like, stuff happens, we gonna get it off. You gonna what? You're gonna get it off? Because when I got close, when I tried to smell the painting, I heard, and then you came over, no smelling. It was get it off, no big deal. Or you would see things like you would see, I don't know about you, but the tomato soup that I eat got a little oil to it, and you throw it on oil painting, it seems like it might leave a stain. I have no idea. But then you would see the museum come out and be like, no permanent damage was done to the artwork. And I'm like, how? I've dropped suits that were clear on my hoodie before it had the stain forever. How's this 200-year-old acrylic painting fine? It must be a fake. I used to think that, look, if you go to a museum and you see just like you could touch it, that one can't be real. But if you go to a museum and it's behind glass, that's the real one, because they bothered to protect it. Why are you just bothering to protect some pieces? That doesn't make sense to me. So then, in my head, I was like, those aren't the jewels. You know what I mean? That's just colored glass. These people so stupid, they ran up in there and risked their freedom for some colored glass. And then the French government came out and said, priceless items have been stolen from the Louvre. And I was like, that's the real jewel! Y'all didn't run any armed security around the real crown jewels? For a split second, I felt like it was my money. I was like, what are y'all doing? Ooh, I need to sit down. You said it was priceless, and then right after saying it was priceless, they were like, it's about $100 million. I was like, oh, seems like a price. You said prices for a day and a half, and then immediately y'all were like, I think 103 probably. At least round up to 110. And then, in my opinion, museum handled it wrong. You know, they were over here freaking out. Everybody, the French government, they got everybody on it. They got like their version of the FBI. They have the local police. They have everybody on it. They plastered all the jewels that were missing all over international news and everything. If I was trying to save face, let's say I was head of museum security, I was trying to save face, I would come out to the public immediately after the robbery and be like, y'all, that was Banksy. Y'all know Banksy played too much. But this is where I wish that they had done a better job of being creative, being inventive. You know, you've just been robbed. One of the boldest robberies that we've seen. And you are the most visited museum in the world. Why don't you just see this as a W? You know what I mean? Instead of freaking out and shutting down the whole wing and staying closed for a day, all you gotta do is put that tape around the crime scene and make that an exhibit. We all wanna see it. Bring people in. Make the security guards that did do their job, the tour guides, just be like, it was 4 of them. They ran up in here. I was like, hey, get out of here. And they were like, ving, ving, ving. I was like, you right. All right, I'm gonna go. But I'm telling everybody, and that's why I'm telling you now. And yeah, you can see the glass right here. Take a piece of glass home. You can take a piece of glass home if you want. The jewels used to be right there. That's crazy, right? Jewels used to be just like, and the light used to hit it like that, but then they brought the grinder and they would, so. But they were real. That's why I'm doing this now, or else I'd be fired. Oh, it sucks. It does. It sucks because, like, it's just gonna turn museum security into TSA. Yeah, I mean, because look, this was, as far as museum security goes, this was their 9/11. So
If you think you're just gonna roll up in there and have a good time, that's not what's gonna happen. You're gonna show up and they're gonna be like, all right, shoes off. They all gonna have the wand now. Oh, brutal stuff. You gonna walk into your local museum. You're not even in France. But there's gonna be that security guard takes his job extra serious and be like, you're not gonna get me, not today. Pants down. Pants down. No, I got a check. You could have anything. You could have an angle grinder in your pants or something. You know, we have some very expensive cups here. I love a tour guide at a museum because then they'll tell you how expensive something is. And at least with the pottery, maybe this is me not being cultured, but some of the pottery that's in museums, and then they'll tell the story of how the pottery got to the museum, and then they'll be like, you know, this is worth easily $100,000. And I'll be like, nah, it's not. It's not. Like, it isn't. Like, it is not. As much as it is here, it is not worth that. Like the function of is, like it is here, like it exists, like it is. It is here. And it is not worth that. And you know how it's not? I know it's not worth that. I know it's not worth that. Because you had to tell me how much it was, because I thought it was worth nothing. I thought y'all dug it up and brought it here because y'all were like, this was just in the ground. Isn't that interesting? I bet you people aren't leaning over the register at the gift shop being like, how much was that clay cup? I only have 50,000 on me. Dang. I would have loved that clay cup that looked like a caveman did it. Because I need to be clear here. I'm not just trying to be rude. The one that I'm talking about, it wasn't like some beautiful African art. It wasn't like a Greek pot or something that was painted with a story on it. It just looked lumpy. It just looked lumpy to the point where I was like, even when they drank out of this, there's no way they got the water on a consistent basis. You could tell it's primitive because it looked like a cup that gulps. Looked like it pours when it wants to. Lip of it all uneven and everything. This is $100,000. I'm like, all right. You sure you didn't look at it too fast and add 2 extra zeros? Because I don't think so. There was a guy. There was a really rich guy, apparently. I don't know him, but everybody was saying how rich he was. And he got on the Instagram to actually, physically cry about the crown jewels being stolen. And he gave this whole speech about how, like, the robbers, because there's this assumption that the robbers aren't gonna be able to just sell the jewels they stole as is. There are plenty of people in the world that would pay the money it would take to sell them just as is, and maybe they just keep it and only they know they have it. But art collectors usually like to show off their collection, and so they can't tell anybody. So it's better just go ahead and maybe melt it down, sell the jewels. The jewels themselves are still very expensive. In fact, you'll see where throughout history pieces have been stolen. Mona Lisa was stolen before. Pieces sometimes get stolen, but unless you can sell it to someone, what's it really worth? And so there's speculation that already these jewels have been melted down and being sold for parts, or maybe pieces are being sold that might not be able to be traced back to the complete set. And this guy got on social and he was just crying. Dude had to be in his like 50s, something like that, and he was like, is that crying where, okay, you know, it was like the crying you do when you're little, but you let yourself do it again when you get grown if something gets to you enough. Which is crazy, because he went online to cry, but then was fighting the crying. But he's fighting the crying to camera. But then just don't turn the camera on yet. Like, if you, like, let it out real quick and then do your video. You doing the video, like, no one putting the video in your face right now. You doing the video and you, wait, just wait. No one asked for this video. You could wait a day. You could wait till you're over it, or you could just not do it. But this dude got, some people just cry like they choking, and it's just, and then he said a bunch of stuff, and he did say it in French, and I don't speak French, so I'm gonna paraphrase from what everybody said he was saying, but I know he said some of this because a lot of people said he said it, and then I know there's some of it that might be like editorialized on what he said, because I don't know if he said that because I don't speak any French, and then also he didn't even say what he said in French well, because he was crying through the whole thing. Like, and look, to be fair, maybe some of that was crying and maybe a little bit of that was the accent. Maybe some of that was the accent, because there are certain people that when they speak French, they do seem upset for no reason, so then that's... It's like, was that a cry or was that one? Were you saying one just now? Were you like, or is that you trying to hold it together? Because that's why you should have waited to make the big... That's a cry. That was not French. That one. And what this dude basically said was that you didn't just steal from the Louvre. You stole from the French people. You stole a piece of our heritage. You stole a piece of our history. And if you melt that down, if you repurpose that, if you sell that, you will burn in hell, because you have stolen from the people. And I'm sure, I'm almost positive, I don't know everyone who's seen the video, I just know that I saw it, but I'm sure if you saw that video and you were from Africa or Brazil or just anywhere, I'm sure you watched it and you were like, oh no. Someone stole a piece of your heritage? What are you gonna do? Someone in Sri Lanka is like, not France. No. What are you gonna do? And look, I can understand if you are from some of those other countries, if you're from like an African country or something like that, if you're from Haiti and you see this thing, that you might be like, oh no, not the Louvre. They have our stuff too. Did they steal our stuff? Now it's gonna be harder to find, because that's also what was there. So now, oh no. Someone stole it, you know? I just love the story so much. I love the robbers. Cause look, because they even showed up. They weren't just dressed as a construction outfit. They had on the, you know what I mean, the thing, mask and top and bottom. You know, they were wearing the baklava. I love this crime so much because it feels a lot like somebody that runs a trap house robbing a stash house, and then the person from the stash house is like, we gotta call the police. I can't believe somebody would steal from us. This is unacceptable behavior. We stole all this stuff fair and square. This was ours. And then they took it from us in an act of injustice. Stanford, y'all have been amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a phenomenal time.
Welcome to the Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host, fellow stand-up comedian Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I think that it's weird. As the year is like winding down and stuff, I'm just trying to like take stock of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And you know, I had a conversation with a friend tonight that like he was he's been in the hospital for a little while. He's one of my friends from college and stuff. And it's just like, I'm glad that he's doing a bit better. I'm glad I got to talk to him because I had to call him after my first show tonight. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just like, I'm a bit disappointed in myself that I like let so much time pass without calling. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you like life just happens. Like, people, you know, we're all doing our best and everything, but it, you know, yeah, it shouldn't take like me worrying about him to call him, you know? So I'm trying to like do that more. Like, I call people and I text people that I haven't talked to in a while, like a decent amount, I suppose, but yeah, sometimes something happens where it like is a jolt, and you're like, oh, I should really be appreciative that I have like all my people while I have them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's just, I don't know.
Fun start to our comedy podcast, but
yeah. I mean, I guess.
No, I'm fucking with you. No, I get that. A thing I've really learned about myself in recent years is because, like, yeah, I'm bad at keeping up with people, but I also just realized I'm not great at like managing a giant group of friends. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, and I think especially in comedy, you're expected to like make friends with all the comics and stuff like that. And I was never great at that in Chicago, and it would just be more of a point of stress than like actual joy to know a bunch of comics.
Yeah, but I think that you, as much as I don't like when comedy communities are very cliquey and stuff like that, I think that it's initially inherent that it's gonna be, because you're only gonna be able to go to so many birthday parties, remember so many like people's life events, you know?
Yeah. And you can only actually find so many of the comics you meet actually funny.
I suppose so. I mean, I feel
You know
like,
what I mean? Like,
there's a thing where now
you can meet a lot of funny comics, but also like if you're at Mike's a lot, you're also gonna meet a lot of comics who aren't funny but are nice.
Yeah. That,
and then
that
it's kind of like, and not saying like you only want to be friends with them because they're funny, but there is also like the like, yeah, but like I'm not gonna book you.
Sure.
You're funny and I like hanging out with you. But
yeah, I think that my thing is I've found that there are comics that I've become friends with or really admire or just really enjoy watching that even if their attention, I guess I could say their attention is not like solely focused on like craft of writing or like stage presence, whatever,
right,
but
yeah.
they're always like, there's always something, like, you know, those comics that are like made of X Factor. Like they're like up and down. They're like, I need to watch this person, and it might not be good.
it'll be interesting.
But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be like special.
Yeah.
Like, they're just those people that make your night special.
Yeah.
Especially if you're at an open mic or something, and then there's people who are like not necessarily trying to work on anything. They're also not necessarily trying to play to the other comics in the room. There's just something they have to get off their chest that's like chaos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, this is incredible.
Yeah, those are the good ones. Those are good. And I want to be clear too. It's like, I mean, like, you may not be able to find everybody personally funny. Some might be very funny, but they're just not going to be what you find funny. So it's like, makes it hard to then like want to talk about their set or anything, you know, because I'm like, it's just like, it's not my thing, but you're doing something for somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and you also cannot write necessarily, like, even if you're writing with another comic, you're only going to be able to be helpful with things that they would say. So
yeah,
it's like that also sort of can make people fall out of line with each other when it comes to a sort of meeting of the minds, because it's like, okay, you're going to do this crazy act out I would never do, like, or I like wordplay way more than you like wordplay, or, you know, whatever the thing is. And so that's kind of where I think a lot of it comes from.
Yeah, because there are some comics who like then get really like they want to give you a tag, and then they're like really adamant about it of like, no, that's what fixes it. Use that. And it's like, well, I'm like, no, but that's funnier if you say it. If you did this joke, yes. Yeah. But like for me, it's, you know, like you and I give each other tags and like try to change jokes. So, and like sometimes we take a note, and sometimes we're like, that's just not how you know. I know I give you stuff that like that's not what you would say. Yeah. You know, but I'm like, this is where my brain goes when you ask me about this joke. You know what I mean?
Sure. And then there's also something to be said for like. Like sometimes someone, the thing that I love about comedy, and the thing I love about hanging out with comics though, is that there's only so many ways you can see a thing as an individual, right? So even when you are trying to think of angles and look at things in a different way and open your mind, it's like, it's not even necessarily that someone else's mind is more open. It's just that they're coming at this thing from like the totally different side. Like if every joke was,
for sure,
you know, like that diamond, there are going to be people who are like 10 shades the other way that you're never going to hit. And watching people there's a friend of mine that has like such a fire bit that I would have never. And you know what's crazy about one of the beautiful things about watching someone just be incredibly funny is that, I'm trying to think of how to put this. He was doing jokes that were things that I felt, but never things that I thought, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
I understand what you mean by that.
So he like, he went on this like run. And when I tell you, it was epic. Like, I'm not even gonna like do the jokes because I wouldn't do them justice. I'm literally just telling you, he had a take about Jackie Kennedy that I've never heard before, but had felt in life, but then was like, wow, this man is like as he's talking, it's like he was reading my mind from when I thought those things.
Yeah.
And so then you're
I do really want to know what your hot take on Jackie Kennedy is.
Well, it's just like the way that he was describing it, and this is not the joke, so I'm not like doing his joke or anything, but he, you know, we were conversing after his set because I went up to him and I was like, dude, that was truly brilliant, everything. But you know, we were just talking about the fact that like Jackie Kennedy is like seen as this like icon of an icon of an icon, like just like really really up there, and she like, I don't know, she was kind of average, and I don't really know what was that great, but she had
right now I'm not reading any emails about Jackie Kennedy. Do not send me Jackie Kennedy emails because I feel the typing already.
But you know, clearly there's something special about her because in her lifetime she bagged a president and a billionaire in the same lifetime. Like usually in life you only get one of those things, if either, right?
Right. Yeah.
It would be like if, you know, it would be like if Barack died tonight and then Michelle was like, Elon looking cute. Like, it's like,
Jesus.
It's like, imagine that. You had a president and a billionaire in a lifetime. That's incredible.
Yeah. But, you know, I can't think of her name fast enough, so I couldn't have a good joke about it. fucking Trump's wife. I couldn't. I was like, she had both in one.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Why can't I think of her name right now?
That's very funny that you can't think of the former first lady's name.
Can you tell me what her name is, please? I can't
I'm not
think
going
of
to
it.
tell you.
Ivanka.
No.
Ivanka. Is that her? No, that's
That's
the daughter.
who he wishes it was.
I can't think of her name. I truly
Are
can't
you
think
all
of her.
right?
No, I was literally like about to fall asleep when you texted me that you were ready. So I was. I just had nothing to do. I was just waiting.
No,
I knew
it's
we were
fine.
going to
It's
record.
fine. It's fine. Wow.
I know. And honestly, dude, I don't even have a guess right now.
Hey, you should guess.
I did, and it was his daughter.
Yeah, but what do you think it is? Just say some names.
I can't even give you a letter right now.
Some names.
Sylvia Trump. Yentl. I gotta look it up. I don't know.
No, don't look it up. Don't look it up.
Don't look it up. The look Josh is giving me right now. I know, dude, I'm giving myself that look. I'm like, why can't I?
Wow. What?
I have somehow erased that name from my brain, and I don't know why.
Did she do something to you?
No.
Okay. You can tell me.
No.
If she hurt you?
She did nothing to me.
Okay.
I truly can't. Natasha.
Ooh, wee. Yeah. No, it's all. It's all
Dude,
good.
fucking tell me her name, please.
No, man. This
This sucks.
This is what life used to be like.
Before phones, before you could just Google it.
Before you could just Google it, people would not know stuff. And if the person you were talking to didn't know, y'all would just not know.
So is that you saying you don't know either?
I know.
That's what I say.
But I'm just saying, if someone didn't want to tell you, right? Like back in the day.
Oh, like right now where I'm begging my friend to tell me and he won't.
But you remember when you were little?
If your friends were dicks before phones, it was hard to know stuff.
You remember when you were little and there was like, you had homework and your parents either knew and didn't want to tell you or they didn't know either?
Yeah.
And then they were like, I could give you the answer, but you should figure it out for yourself. That was like a classic line that we all heard growing up. And, before phones, you really did have to either decide to not know it for life. Because you can't go to the library for everything. There are some things, and I think that's actually why.
Loretta? Is it Loretta? This isn't a bit. I genuinely can't remember her name.
Do you smoke today?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I've had 2 sips from this beer, and I've done nothing but actually eat healthy and drink water today.
You might be overhydrated. That's what it is.
Oh, maybe. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I said Ivanka. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's the only name because that's got the rhythm to it.
So, yeah, you just used to have to go to the library for everything. And it was like, you had to just decide to not know stuff.
Can you give me a letter?
Nah, why would I give you a letter?
I don't know. Because
a letter gives it away.
Why? Is it a weird letter? Is it a Q?
What do you think the weird letters are?
A Q or Z, the ones that a lot of names don't start with. Z's got some names. You don't get a lot of Q names, though.
Quincy.
Is it Quincy? Tell me if it's Quincy. Is President Trump's wife's name Quincy Trump?
Oh, wait. This is a shame. This is like...
And you're a bad person by just letting me I do not feel bad about any of the times I have mocked you on this show.
Yeah.
That I have fucked with you.
Yeah.
Because
You know what? You know what's weird? I feel better about those times now.
yeah, do you?
Yeah.
Is it Wanda? This is embarrassing.
Why is it embarrassing?
Because this is recent history in my lifetime. A person whose name I do know, and I know once I remember it or read it, I'm going to hate myself. But
yeah, that's why you should wait to like read it or anything until after
I know
we're done.
This is the thing, and I'm really trying to figure it out. And then you're talking to me, and I just cannot listen to what you're talking about because I'm so focused on this right now. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll think over here.
Okay.
I'm literally going through the alphabet right now. I'm just going in my head, just thinking of letters and trying to find. Is there a name? Ula? Is it Ula Trump?
I feel like you're just going to start naming dishes. Like, is it gruel?
Gruel is a dish. Spaghetti? Is it spaghetti Trump?
Oh, man. Well.
Oh, God. Give me one letter. Doesn't have to be the one it starts with. Just give me any letter.
Did you go to the library a lot when you were a kid?
Fuck you. God damn it. I guess we did, yeah. In the one in town in St. Ansgar, we used to go a little bit. I mean, I was just like, I'm like, yes, but it was like the school library. We were in there a lot, you know. That was where I got most of my reading.
Yeah,
was there because we had a pretty good library. Because also our town library isn't that big, so you're better off just going to the school library.
I see,
but you know what I mean. Small ass town.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Got hot. I gotta take this hat off.
No, it's all good. I just asked because like I used to go to the library all the time with my mom because my mom used to work at the library, and there was this lady that worked there that was always cracking me up because you know how there's free access to the internet at the library, and you know there are people who use that free access to access things they maybe can't get in real life. You know?
Yeah. Our friend Rob used to work at Chicago Public Libraries, and he saw plenty of that.
Yeah. And so there were people who would come to the library specifically to look at explicit images of sexual activity.
Wow.
Of intercourse and relations.
Wow. You've somehow ruined sex for me the way you just said all of that.
Of the activity of genitalia.
Oh, God. The activity of genitalia. Oh. And I know I'm going to pitch that to you for a title for this episode, and you're going to say no.
You know what I mean? Just the general filth of lust.
That sounds like an old play. Like that.
The filth of lust. We should actually do that as like
Sounds like a fucking Oscar Wilde play.
Yeah. We should do that one the same way that we had the detective one. We should do the filth of lust.
Well, or is that the title of the Porta Potty one? Porta Potty 2, the filth of lust.
Oh gosh, no, it can't be. It can't be. This is a different thing, and it's happening in Puritan times where everyone will know. Like if you actually had, you know what they call it, the Shakespearean term for it.
Doinkin?
The beast with two backs.
The general filth of lust.
Yeah. There were people who would, engage in the voyeurism. Of intimate contact.
Oh, God. This is going to be the rest of the episode is you just finding different ways to word watching porn. How many different ways?
And so when they would, click their way to sin, she would roll up behind them and be like, "What you doing, pervert?"
Who would do this? I forgot who was at the beginning of the story.
The woman that worked at the library
Just the woman who
with
worked
my
there?
mom.
Okay.
Yeah. What you up to, pervert? Just extra peas on the pervert. The hardest P you've ever seen. What's up, pervert? Loud too. I'd be in a children's section reading and just hear pervert.
Yeah, I'll spice up your trip to the library. That'll be...
Yeah.
Is it Mona? Mona Trump?
Oh, man, that's phenomenal. Because what a random thing to forget. Like, it's so random, it could be forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah,
like it makes sense that you forgot. It's actually not crazy that you don't.
It's not in my daily news anymore,
Yeah. Maybe never. If you think about it. Like if you didn't want to know, if you avoided the news for, the last 6 years, then I think you could get away with being like, was it rhyme with again?
Yeah. Koala Trump.
Man. Wow.
Yeah. Huh. How are you?
I'm all right.
You all right?
Yeah.
I thought I was all right until we started recording.
Yeah, I mean, I also thought you were all right because you were kind of like looking at me crazy when we started, where I was like,
I wasn't looking at you. I wasn't looking at you crazy. I thought it was. And here's the thing. I sometimes respect it, but it's just like just to be like, I'm gonna start this on a real somber note.
Sure.
about not being good, about staying in touch with my friend in the hospital. It was all we had said was our names and then that.
Yeah,
and
but if they've made it to like 130, like whatever episode this is, I think they know.
122.
Yeah, I think they know.
But it could be someone's first episode too, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So if they start it and then only the first couple minutes, they're like, man, these guys are bummers.
Yeah, I mean,
and then the one's stupid as hell. He can't remember the president's wife.
It was also like all of 5 minutes. So if they didn't last this long, they were never going to be with us.
They weren't fans anyway. If you're still here, you're our little weirdos who stick with us, and we love you.
Oh man, yeah. I've been like thinking a lot about the year and stuff. Like, I know that we're gonna have our episodes coming up. They're sort of like the real year in review episodes and stuff. But yeah, I think in my life, because I've also had this thing where, I understand that, all comparison kills joy. That like that old saying of like, oh yeah, you don't want to be comparing yourself to everyone all the time and stuff. Yeah. So I try really hard not to do that, because I also don't want the biggest thing I learned in comedy as I was like making more friends in comedy, doing comedy more and stuff like that, is realizing that I did not actually want to do the things that other people wanted to do. So then that also kills comparison, because it's like, if someone got a job that, that I was like, oh, maybe I would want to do that. But then I think about it and I'm like, oh, maybe not. Like I'm pretty happy with life right now. So there's no real reason to run around, trying to like jump in on other people's accomplishments and stuff. And then also I think the things I describe doing to people sound like dumb to them. You know what I mean? Like I showed a friend way before this happened. I showed a friend what I was gonna wear on Colbert, and this is before I'd even booked Colbert. I was just like, my next late night spot, I'm gonna wear this, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you think? And this is also why sometimes you have to like keep things close to the chest, because like I think if I was a different type person, I may have like taken it, because he didn't mean anything by it, but he like taken it too much to heart, and he was like, oh, I mean, it's cool. It's not something that I would wear like to the, and he wasn't like being any type of way. He was just being honest, but it's also why you have to know, you can't just ask people questions like not being ready for whatever the answer is going to be, because I really wanted to know what he thought of it as a whole. Right, but if I had specifically asked him what he thought about it just for him to tell me how cool it looked, I was about to be disappointed,
Yeah, but that is why a lot of people ask the question of something like that for that reason. They just want to hear their hope echoed back to them.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean.
And with me, it's like I knew it was like as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh man, this is amazing. Like I'm gonna get
Melania.
this.
Is it Melania?
Yeah.
Oh God, thank God. You know how I got close to it? Because I jokingly thought of malaria Trump, and then I'm like, wait, that's actually pretty close. That sounds about right. Because then I just started looking for words to do as jokes, and then I'm like, wait, I think I actually got really close.
Oh my gosh.
I swear I'm not a dumb man, but oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shit. No emails about that either. No emails about the first lady of any era. It's a new rule. No Jackie O or Malaria Trump. None of them. Sorry, keep going. I'm sorry. It literally.
I mean, I was pretty much done.
Me.
I was like,
oh, okay.
I'm actually using this moment to. 1 second.
Ignore me. Gotcha.
No.
Okay.
I'm just making sure. No, I'm just making sure it's not somewhere. So, the comic that everyone should check out that has the dope bit is Jared Waters. If you are in New York, he's like constantly doing shows, and hopefully he'll be on the road soon. But he's so funny.
Why didn't we say that when we were talking about him? Why'd we? He waited like 3 more beats to like plug his name.
Because what ended up happening was I was trying so hard to not tell the joke, but talk about the joke in a way that did it justice. That I was like, it didn't even occur to me to say his name just yet, because I was like, let me hold off until I like make sure we don't need to cut the entire thing.
Remember, did you forget his name?
No.
Did you forget his name and you were... No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So that was about Jackie O. Okay, I'm just trying to now find where we were at. We were just talking about your suit, and then you said you're done with that. You look sharp in that, by the way.
Thanks,
People
man.
haven't seen that. Even if you don't watch the set, you should. But also, like, no, you did walk out, and I was like, geez, that's a sharp one. Like, 'cause that was like, that's the nicest one of those I've seen you in.
Yeah. I feel like that was like the most form fitting too, because
that was like
it was like,
bro,
it felt tailored.
No, you did.
That's the first time that I've
tailored.
got something from someone where they were like exactly by every quarter of an inch what they said it would be. Because sometimes you like, oh man, before I did Conan, I'll never forget this. This is like, this happened to me at Conan, and it happened to me at the Emmys was worse.
Did you wear a suit for Conan? Or
yeah, I think I had a suit for Conan.
Okay.
But the Emmys was the worst one. Conan was nothing in comparison.
Yeah.
For the Emmys, I went, and this is like, I'm not a prepared person most of the time. And so this is me really trying to be about my like,
hey, as his co-host, I can say, yeah.
Like, this is me really trying to be about like my business, right? So a week before the Emmys, a week before I'm supposed to fly out for the Emmys, I go to this like, maybe it was a Men's Warehouse or something. I pick out a suit and you know, I have the person who does the tailoring like draw it up all with chalk and like do all the stuff, right? I am told to come back like almost in a week, because I guess it was like I think around the same time as the Emmys is sometimes like a wedding season type thing. Because there's like wedding seasons throughout the year that are heavy. You know, a lot of people have summer weddings, some people have spring weddings, some people do fall, stuff like that. So I feel like
when are the Emmys usually? Those
September, like in September, yeah.
Yeah.
And so for whatever reason, this New York Men's Warehouse was like, we are swamped. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so they tell me to come back pretty much the day before I fly out, right? Which I'm already not a huge fan of, because I'm like, okay, it takes you a week to make these slight alterations. Like, in retrospect, I should have just gone to a different tailor, but I was like at Men's Warehouse and there was a tailor at Men's Warehouse. So I was like, let me just make it easy on myself.
Yeah, and
right?
You don't like wait for the train or anything. Just
And so
that'd be a
they
whole
chalk
place
it
I'd
up.
have to go to.
I mean, it really wouldn't. Like, I probably was in walking distance of another one, like another tailor. But they chalk it all up. And then my man puts it in the back and, you know, we're chatting and everything. And then I leave and I'm like, check that off the list. I did something ahead for once, right? I'm not panicking trying to like get it bought and tailored same day, paying extra money, whatever, right? I come back when I'm supposed to, the day before my flight, and I give them my ticket, and the person can't find it at all, right? Which is insane because I've bought the thing. And so they can't find it at all. And in my head, I was like, this never occurred to me that this could possibly happen. That someone just with my body could come in and be like, this fits. I guess I'll take it. and so I'm like, you have to keep looking. Like they were very like nonchalant at first about not being able to find it. And I was like, I bought it here, so I've never left with it. So how did someone else leave with it? You know, they finally find it. And a week ago when I, was getting it, tailored and sized and all the measurements and stuff like that, the guy who did it put it on the wrong rack. So he went back there and put it on the done rack immediately. So no one's touched it this entire time.
Oh, okay.
And so now I'm freaking out because I'm like, what should I do then? Like, can you do it now? Because this is your screw up. Like, I came here a week ago. Like, this is crazy, right? And they were like, the tailor isn't in today. And I'm like, all right, is he going to be in tomorrow early? Like, can I maybe pick it up right before my flight? Or like, I'm trying to figure out what to do. And they were like, maybe, but I wouldn't. The guy working the day that I came to get it was one of the most oddest workers I've met at like a Men's Warehouse or like any clothing store, because he was just like, I mean, he'll be here, but I wouldn't wait on him.
I suppose that is theoretically possible, but
yeah. And so then I was like, well, what do we do about the money that I was already charged for the thing that didn't happen?
And he's like, shit, someone left with that too.
Yeah. And so then I look it up on my card on my bank, and they're basically like, oh, luckily Luckily, the first guy was so bad at his job that he forgot to charge you.
Hey.
So I'm like, okay, all right, I guess, hey, no harm,
Free
no foul.
unfinished suit.
Yeah. I've just got a suit with a bunch of chalk on it now. A part of me was almost like, should I just wear it to the Emmys and try to make it look like a statement where it's like, here's what I could do, but I didn't.
Yeah, you're protesting tuxedo standards or something.
Yeah. Why shouldn't more grown men look like the little rascals?
Yeah, I'm trying to reconnect with my childhood. This is a suit of whimsy.
Yeah. And so I flew with this chalked up suit, and then when we got to LA, I think I rushed to a tailor in LA, which was also, most of them were too busy because the Emmys was there. And so they were doing a bunch of stuff, and it was like, it was hell.
You show up with just a chalked up suit. Can you finish this?
Like, I might as well have shown up with the fabric.
Can you help me? Yeah, just a roll of fabric. Can you make me a suit, please? God damn, yeah, that would be a lot. There would be a big part of me that'd be like, maybe I just won't go. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I'm not giving away any award. I'm not presenting. I guess.
Yeah. Nah, man. Oof.
Yeah. And then this, it's a dashiki, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just not confident in my words right now after the whole Melania situation. I just wanted to make sure I was saying the right type of suit. But was this made by the same person who did your Comedy Central one?
No, that was a different person. So this person runs a business called Saba Elite, and they do a bunch of like suits, jackets, and just great, like really great designs, really great stuff.
No, man, you walked out and I was like, that is sharp. It was, and like, I know people were like saying on there being like, you know, Wakanda or whatever. People were comparing you to that, but it was like, honestly, even you walked out and I was like, fuck, that does look like T'Challa. Like that looks like Chadwick Boseman at like one of the like premieres.
Can I tell you because I try not to get on comments and like any of that stuff. Not even because of like people might be rude, but because I think that it is a detriment to you, good or bad, to like lean on too many opinions. I think that when people are hyping you up, you can get a false sense of, you know, who you are or what you're doing or like where you're at. And I think when people are putting you down, you could get a false sense of like, oh, they're right and I'm trash, and you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I try to just like stay away from all that stuff, you know, like, and because also people don't even have the energy to like remember anything that they say online. Like if someone told you that they really took someone down online in a YouTube comment, you'd be like, yo, I didn't know you were a lunatic. Like, these people do these things and then they just move on, you know? And then even with praise, it's like, even with praise, there will be people who are like saying all the nice things, you know, as well. But don't really like know or care about you, which is like, it's still good to put something out that's good.
Yeah.
But
we get emails that say to Josh and co-host.
Yeah,
and it's like,
And
I'm the only other guy here. You couldn't even look. We say it in every episode. You couldn't look up my name to send an email.
And so it's one of those things where I know that people I would say most of what's said on the internet is not meant, and what most of what's said online is not meant in the way that it can be taken, or even in the way someone thinks that they were like maybe you're upset in the moment, so you post something or you comment something, and it doesn't actually mean anything to you, but it could really affect that person. So I try to stay away, and that's mostly a YouTube thing. I'm like engaged on my social because I feel like on my like to me this is the difference. To me, it's like if you come to my social, it's like, oh, you probably mean it. Like if you came to me, then like good or bad, this is kind of how you feel in the moment. But YouTube just throws stuff at you.
Yeah, and if people comment on it too, I don't think they expect the people who makes the videos to like actually read them. It's that weird thing of like, even though it's their channel, they put it there, but I think everyone thinks there's like, like I just saw a video today of someone talking about like people sending them like their own video to be like, oh my God, remember this? And he's like, yeah, that's on my page. You sent it from my channel, but it's like no one really thinks that, I don't know, we run the stuff we run. I don't know.
Exactly. That's just what makes YouTube such a different beast and how people even digest it or think about it. Because obviously every social platform has a discovery or an explore or like is sending you stuff, but YouTube just does it differently. I don't know how to describe it. And so I said all of that to say that I did not see this comment.
Because it feels like a cable network almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like talking to the TV. You're not expecting the TV to talk back.
Yeah. And like, I did not see this comment because I steer clear of like YouTube stuff as far as comments for at least like, for at least the first month. I try not to look at it at all, but like especially if it's on this channel, like if it's on my channel, and I know that it's like the people, once again, the people coming to me, then I want to engage with them and I want to say like, hey, whatever, right? Or thank them for watching or, whatever it is. But I think when it's something that's on like with Colbert, that's his stuff, right? So I did not see this, but my manager told me that one of the top comments, at least the day that I did it, was, how'd she put it? She was like, it seemed positive. And as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, then don't tell me. Like in my head, I was like, don't tell me that. Like if you're not sure.
It seemed positive.
And then she was like, it seemed positive. And somebody was like, oh, look at that little Wakanda nutcracker. And I was like, wow. This is why I need time. And then I come. Yeah, like this is why I need time away before I engage.
My little Wakanda nutcracker. Oh,
and I was like, oof.
Yeah. Little Black Panther Jr. up in here.
Yeah, because what ends up happening is that when I feel like if I prepare myself, by the time I do look, I can be like stoic about it, Right. Yeah. And also if I give it time, it didn't just happen. So I'm not like, what do you want to call it? I'm not like emotional about it,
Yeah. It seemed positive. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
You're like if they do a cartoon, where it's like all the Avengers are in high school, and you're.
Oh God.
You're Teen Chala.
That's what the T is for.
Yeah, that's what the T is for. Is the teenager. Yeah. Oh, good golly, that's funny. I haven't opened up the mailbag yet. I'll start looking for something. I will say, though, you mentioned that coming up we'll be doing our end of the year episodes. If you look in the bio of this episode, we'll have the form out for submitting your favorite episodes of the year. I'm not speaking to Josh. I'm speaking to you, the audience. I realized I just said your, and that could have been to anybody. We want to know your favorite episodes of the year. We did that last year. It worked out really nicely, and then we do our episodes where we put in some of the best moments of the year, and we add some extra stuff too. We talk about them and all that. So it's a simple form. I haven't made it yet. Spoiler, but by the time this is out, I will have. So it's gonna be simple. But go fill that out. It'll be a lot like we did last year. And we really want to know. It made it a lot easier to make the episode. Also made it a lot more fun because we got to know what you guys really loved from the year.
Yeah, because there are things that
will
end up on that list that are not on our list.
Well, and some things we'd forgot about, remember? There were things we're like, oh, yeah, that was a fun story or fun episode that we had completely forgotten about.
Yeah.
We do a lot of these. So we would really love it if you submitted on that, if you care to. Let me open up the email. You got anything else you want to chat about before?
No, I think we're ready for a mailbag. I think that we should dive in. You know, I mean, we're gonna have to save the filth of lust for another episode.
Oh, is there more on that?
No, I'm saying that the
working out the
rom-com erotica. We'll have to save it for another time.
We got this one here, and it is titled "Very, Very, Very Important Information," and then it just says, "Hello, Losh and Jogan. I have very important information about my new job. My boss's name is Richard Balls, but he prefers the name Dick for some reason. His name is literally Dick Balls." I may be mentally 10 years old, but this is one of the funniest things to ever happen in my life. Anyways, y'all keep doing your thing over yonder. 69,420 out of 10 jangles. I didn't say the name, and I may cut this last part because it says, P.S. I'm also very stoned while writing this, and I don't want to get anybody fired. So
yeah, no, fair enough. But
I don't want Dick Balls to hear this and be that. No, that is wonderful. Thank you for sharing that very important information with us. We needed to know.
Yeah.
And I love that our fans bring us the important news.
I also love the idea that someone named Dick Balls might ever try to send someone else to HR.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it's like we need to send you to human resource. Like, you need to send me to human resource.
Well, you see your language, my language, your name, sir.
Yeah.
Dickard Balls. Let's see this one here. This is signed Kit Kat, and the title here is Love Ya Dummies. Toontown and Squeaks. Love the show. I got into it because a guy I'm really into wouldn't shut up about it. Parentheses, shout out to my boy Ruffles. I don't know if I'd be really trying to chase a man named Ruffles, but and boy has my simp behavior finally paid off because y'all are hilarious. Well, I guess we're a good consolation prize.
Yeah.
Much like Logan, I am a pun terrorist, and I can't count how many times I've been caught cackling with y'all in my ear as I do my... Get ready for this, Josh. As I do my mouse experiments. And then in parentheses, nothing weird, I'm an immunologist. But still, it still sounds weird. I wanted to know what's the funniest / saddest shit you've done / heard of someone doing in the name of love, and if it ever paid off. Once again, love the show and keep on punning, Kit Kat. Thank you so much, Kit Kat. That was... I love the ones that, you know, it's a short email, but there's a journey within it, you know? I really appreciate and respect those people who sent us those.
For the sake of entertainment, I'm going to cop out and tell you about something.
Good call.
Tell you something that I witnessed, but it was not me.
Yeah. Wink, wink.
I mean, it really wasn't, but whatever.
This is when someone's like, "Oh, my friend."
Okay. So in junior high, I had a friend who had a crush on this girl, and so he like laid it all out in a note to her, but like on loose leaf, right? And filled that thing up, right? And then maybe it's like the little because when you're also that young, rom-coms are going on in your head. You think you're in your own rom-com.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he decided, and he worked. This is what's sad. He worked on the design for longer than he worked on the note, even though the note was the full page. He worked on the design for a paper plane, and like was throwing paper planes at lunch, like nonstop, and like tweaking the design, tweaking how much like lift it had, all that stuff, right? And so the day finally came, and he wrote the note, and he had folded so many paper planes at this point that it was nothing to him to get the perfect like cut of paper plane together.
Yeah,
and he folded the paper plane perfectly, and then he went to throw it her way, and as he throws it, so he's maybe like 6 seats behind her, and in the next what is it, column, or is it a row? I can't remember which one's which whenever you're seated. Like if you're seated in a square, there's columns and rows. I guess it doesn't matter if it's a square, but he was one set of seats off to the right of her and 6 seats behind her. So it was a long throw. And as he goes to throw the paper plane, he like really like punches it forward to her, and it's got like the exact amount of, like, he put the perfect force on it, and it's not drooping to the ground. It's like coming like eye level to eye level, right? And as he throws it at her, she turns around to look at him, and it goes into her eye, and like actually
like hurts her.
It actually hurt her pretty bad.
Oh God. See that school the next day with an eye patch?
It wasn't that bad, but it was like she definitely wasn't focused on reading it and could not read it for maybe the rest of the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the exact thing. It's like the number one thing you don't want to have happen if you're trying to do that. If you're trying to win someone over with a paper airplane, which is that it hurts them.
Which is that it goes right into their eye.
Into their eye. Yeah. Ugh.
Like in her eye. You wouldn't be able to do it again if you tried.
Yeah.
Because she had to, like, it was supposed to, I guess, hit her shoulder or like hit the back of her head. I don't know what he was thinking, but it was like the fact that she turned around just in time and looked into the butt, I mean, like the tip of a paper plane.
The butt of the plane.
She looked right into the nose of the plane when she turned around to look at him, right?
Yeah. Made eye contact with the pilot. Hit her right in the eye. Oh man. That's great. I've never seen one of these in person, and this is a little, they're kind of sad, but they do bring me this weird joy. But anytime there's video of like someone trying to propose on like a jumbotron and it goes very badly, where the person is like, no, there's something just compelling about those. Those are inherently watchable to me. I'm not happy about it. I'm not like reveling in his misery. The best one is where he gets down on one knee and she goes no, and then he follows her and she throws a beer at him. And I was like, she did not want to marry you. Did you meet her that day? What happened?
Yeah.
So those are sad, but they're also pretty good.
Oh, man. Like the idea that you don't know if somebody wants to marry you. Like the fact that you can be on such a different page as a couple is like actually terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, who are you talking to here? Who are you talking to, bro?
I mean, you didn't.
I'm divorced and had an engagement fall apart too.
Yeah, but
yeah,
you didn't.
It's not fun. It's not fun to learn.
You didn't have to when you knelt to propose. You didn't have to drag your knee because they were walking away.
No. At the time of engagement, decisions seem to have been made.
That's what I'm saying.
Later things change. Yes. No, I do.
Nobody
find
can
that,
control later. I'm talking about when you do it.
No, that does blow my mind when people ask that, where they're like, it's like, oh, I'm going to propose, and then it's like, oh, will she say yes? And it's like, I'd fucking hope they've talked about it once. You know what I mean? You'd hope at least the topic has come up once.
Imagine somebody. Do you think she'll say yes? Oh, I really don't know.
Do you think she'll say yes? No, probably not. I think tomorrow's going to be rough for me.
You know what? This is what only a gambling addict would do, but they really should start taking bets during the Jumbotron engagements.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shit, man. They're not a sponsor, but like now you got the DraftKings stuff. Like you can bet on like anything now, which every time I see a commercial for it, I'm like, this seems like all the work we've done for gambling addicts is being completely undone now. Because have you seen those commercials? Where like you can put odds on anything, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That's actually what I think should be illegal. I don't care that gambling is legal, but you should just be able to like gamble on if the team or the person will win and stop. Because what you end up doing...
Oh, no specific bets from there?
Yeah, because that's how people lose. That's how they make money. That's how people lose money. That's how people ruin their lives, is parlays down the line where it's like, well, now you could win $12 million off of 200. It's like, you realize you're only going to lose $200. Like, please stop.
Yeah. But then you get some people. There was one guy who made a big bet on, I can't remember what it was on specifically, but because the Astros won, he won like $100 million, or not that much, but he won like a lot, like several $1 million.
No, I'm
from
with
like
you.
one bet early in the season or some shit. Like,
and that even,
I mean, but right there though, it's literally the lottery though. Then at that point, it's not gambling. It's like truly just that form of gambling, the lottery.
Yeah. And you know what? It's like the reason that no one really has a problem with the lottery is because it's cut and dry. You're either going to win or you're going to lose, and only one person out of however many 100 million that are playing is going to win, right? But when you create your own parlays, it is your fault you didn't win the lottery. And that's too much.
Yeah, that's a way to think about it. Yeah, that is a way to put it.
Because think about if you were like, I'm betting that the Patriots win, that the Astros win, that the da, and then you're completely right except for one thing. It's like, it's all your fault.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that.
Well, and you can go down. I mean, the ones who get so specific of like, oh, they're going to have this stat for this many innings of game.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
don't do that. That's insane. I mean, look, probably don't gamble at all.
I mean, it's, and I hate to counter what Josh has said, unless you're really good at it. Because also, this comes from two guys who aren't gamblers. Like, I also, you know what I mean? I don't even like going to like card tables if I'm in Vegas, because it's like that's just a whole world that I'm not like familiar with, you know?
I don't even like gambling in my mind, all right? I get so upset when I really think someone's going to win a fight and they lose horribly.
Yeah. Do you know how tiny of gambles I make? Like, even when I play, not even when I play like cards with people, but if I play like in video games where there's like a game you can play within the game and you can bet, I am the stingiest of gambler in a game where I'm not me and it's not real money. It's like I'm forcing this digital character to sit down and play a game that he clearly doesn't really want to, because I'm not I'm not even betting.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm scared to bet, like, what is that, fourth person by that point? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Do you want to do another email, or should we wrap her up?
No, let's wrap her up. Thanks so much for listening to the Josh Johnson Show. We had a great time recording. I hope you had a great time listening. If you are looking to catch up with us on any of the socials, you can find me at Josh Johnson Comedy on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, where we're going to be posting clips of the show. And if you're looking for Logan,
you can follow me on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want to get into our mailbag, you can email us, joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. And again, if you want to submit your favorite episodes and moments of the year for the Josh Johnson Show, there's a link in the episode bio. Click on that, and you won't have to create an account or anything like that. It's just click on it and send your thoughts, and then we'll make our best of episodes. You can also join our Patreon if you want bonus stuff. We got some bonus podcasts and some video stuff and other update things that we put there. That's patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. And also in the links that we put down below, you'll also find our specific Linktree stuff and website things. And on there are tour dates coming up that Josh just announced that he's doing a tour next year, and I'm going to be on some of them as well. So go click on that and see what the beginning of 2023 is looking like for us, and maybe you'll be able to come see us.
Yeah. And in the meantime, have a great rest of the
virtual
day.
Show. Live virtual show, too. Sorry, live virtual show, December 17th, right? Live virtual show. Forgot about that. The last one of the year. That's December 17th, I believe. Correct? Saturday the 17th? Yes, it is, at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm getting all the plugs in, man. Plenty of chances to see us and interact with us coming up, so take advantage. Sorry, Josh. Take it away.
No, you're good. Until then, have a great rest of the day and an incredible weekend. We appreciate you.
Bye.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really supports the channel. Hit the bell notification, because apparently it's the only way YouTube will tell you that something happened. And just tell a friend. That's the biggest thing you could do. Just tell one person in your life that you like, maybe you don't like, that this video happened to you.
We release the podcast every Thursday on all the podcast apps, so you should find us there and subscribe on those and comment and leave reviews and whatever on all of them. And also, if you want bonus stuff, you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/Josh Johnson Show. We have bonus podcasts and videos and stuff there, and we'd love to see you